Three, two, one. We're live. It's
We are
working.
live.
All right. We tried this earlier. We ran into some technical difficulties. I think I've got everything ironed out now, and we should be on the home stretch. You pretty excited?
Excited.
Let's try
Excited.
to knock
Ready
this
to
out
do
again.
this. Ready to get this rolling, bud.
Yeah, man. I'll let some people get piled in here, and everyone looks like they're getting in all right. Quality looks good. That makes me happy.
How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm excited to talk about the things that we're going to talk about today.
Good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
So for those of you that don't know, I'm with John. He is a counselor, and he specializes in drug rehabilitation. Is there anything you want to say before we get going?
Just glad to be here. Not really. I'm just ready to talk about a little bit about addiction, talk about some recovery, and talk about never giving up.
I like it. I like it. You can pull that a little bit closer to you, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be good
That
right
good?
there. Yep.
All right.
That'll do you. All right, man. So I've known John for quite some time. We go a ways back, and kind of the way that I smoothed into this whole thing is I had Alden, which is a local police officer, on 2 weeks ago, and we had talked about meth and heroin being pretty prominent in the area, which is kind of sad to hear, I think. But it's pretty cool because as I was talking to him, I said, do you stop a lot of repeat offenders, or, like how well does the system work? Does it seem like it's making a break? And he couldn't really give me a straight up answer because he's, that's not his thing.
Right.
So I figured I'd get the man that would know, and that is you.
Well, as I was talking earlier, there is repeat offenders, of course. Our hopes is that at some point they finally see enough is enough.
Yeah.
And what they've been doing with their life is not working, obviously. In and out of jail, in and out of treatment facilities, in and out of prison.
Yep.
There's not many options left. It's either you're gonna get this, you're either gonna go back to jail or you're gonna die. And that sounds kind of drastic, but as we all well know, that's been happening lately with the heroin epidemic and the opioid epidemic. And
it's very bad.
Shit's happening. It's happening every day.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite things about you is that there's no bullshit. It's just cut right to the chase, call a spade, and deal with the problem. And kind of like what I had said before is that I think that's one of the hardest things to overcome in dealing with any kind of issues, is actually dealing with the problem instead of trying to mask it and put a Band-Aid on it. Everyone has their issues, but that seems to be a common scenario in all issues across the board.
Yeah, you can't candy coat, you can't sugarcoat shit when you're dealing with addiction. You're dealing with human lives, and there's no room for error. There's no room to there's no reason to candy coat shit. Get right to it. Let's get down to what the problem is. We're not trying to fix a drug problem. We're trying to fix a you problem. Because that's the deal right there.
Yeah.
Dope is just dope until we do it. Then it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
And that's the real deal there. We have issues. We have issues with whether it be depression or anxiety or PTSD or trauma from childhood or physical abuse or mental abuse. We all have an underlying issue. Mm-hmm. And until we can get to that underlying issue, shit's going to continue to happen.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And I think that it seems like when people have more underlying issues, it seems like it's a lot easier to get into, almost as like a fix for those problems, a temporary fix. Obviously, that doesn't work very well, but it's interesting that you say that, and I see the correlation there. And it's even in my own life, I've been through the system. Everybody that knows me knows that,
Right.
And for me, it was difficult going into a counseling facility. I mean, I got a couple DUIs, and then I was like, the court orders me to go do this stuff, and then I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, man, this sucks. Like this, I don't need this shit. I don't need to be here. And it takes a certain mindset of like, you just have to really accept it and do it for you, and not because you're ordered to. Don't blow it off, and take it serious. And I see a lot of people that do that, and I see a lot of people that blow it off. And
they do.
It's a bummer.
And as you said, Brandon, how we met each other was through the system, basically, when you came.
Yeah.
And hey, you know, it's not so much that you was addicted to alcohol. It's you're like a thrill seeker.
Yeah.
You know, adrenaline junkie, whatever, you know, and you put your mind to something and you do it. And that's an addiction of its own.
Yeah.
First couple times you was in, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus, but the first couple
good.
times you was full of shit.
Yeah.
The last time you came, you got what you came for.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and that is changing behaviors.
Yeah.
You know, you got to change. We hear people, places, and things. That's all good and right. And that is all good and right, you know, but you have to go a little deeper than that. You have to go with your thoughts and your behaviors and your habits and your attitude. If you don't change these things along with people, places, and things, and sometimes your environment, shit just don't change.
Yeah. And I mean, being completely transparent here, it's, man, for me, when I came in there, I was just thinking, you know, I don't need to be in here with these people. You know, I'm not addicted to alcohol.
Right.
You know, I just did some dumb shit and I got in trouble. And as I slowly progressed and kind of changed my mindset, like you're talking about, for me, that helped me in a lot of areas, not just there, but in life. One, it made me a more humble person.
Right.
It made me look at things more objectively. And it also, it really changed my perspective on I'm not bullshitting on life, you know, as far as looking at things and really taking a second to value the outcome of what the potential, you know, or what the potential outcome is. And that was a hard thing for me to get, man.
And you just said something interesting to me that really, it sticks with me. You're not one of these people.
Yeah.
We are these people.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, we are these people. And that's what, you know, the stigma of addiction and alcoholism and all this stuff that's going on. It's a big problem. You know, we got to break the stigma. We got to break this chain of the bullshit of us and them, because it's not us and them, it's us.
Yeah.
You know,
it is. It really is.
That's the way it is. We're all one. And once we break that, you know, shit gets real then, and it gets a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah. And even just the relationship that you create in there, I think you do a fantastic job at that. I think that you're a very understanding person, and you look at things for not as they are, but for what they could be. And you really see the good in everybody. And with that, I mean, like I said, when I first got in there, I was like, this is dumb. I don't want to be here. This isn't for me. And then as I really took a second to think about things, I was like, damn, you know, this is a lot more than what I had thought. I'm in much deeper than I had known about. And then you create the relationships with the people that are there, right. And you get to know people, you get to know the counselors and that kind of thing. And it's a very good thing. And it taught me a lot about myself. Like I've already mentioned to you before, but I have a super addictive personality. Yeah. When I want something, I want to get this shit done. I don't have time to be fucking around. I want, just like this podcast.
Right.
And so it really helped me learn how to take that and use it for good and know when to turn it off. Because there's a lot of times too where I get addicted to work. I'm like, dude, I gotta shut this shit out. This is too much.
We all got to slow down and take a break and just and breathe, because we will all still get caught up in some kind of shit. Yeah. I catch myself doing it as well. And it's like, hey man, I got to slow down here. Yeah. Because even though I don't do drugs and alcohol now, I still have an addictive personality as well.
Yeah, you do too.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get on something and I get on something, and that's just the way I am. You know, I always have been. You know, I don't need to drink coffee to get a buzz.
Right.
I don't. I get high on life now. You know, I used to be high on drugs all the time. I get high on life.
Yeah.
And that's
what do you jump back and forth between like different like projects and shit like that, or?
I focus on my job.
Really?
It's my passion. It's not. I'm not only a substance abuse counselor. I am what's called a certified peer recovery coach, which is a completely different hat than counseling. Counseling, you're court ordered. Okay, you're court ordered to come to counseling. Yeah, we do an assessment through Choices Counseling, where I work, or Choices Consulting in Terre Haute, and you do the assessment. You get ordered to classes. You have to come to classes, so you're court ordered. A peer recovery coach, we meet the person where they're at, where they want to be at. I'm not here to try to tell anyone that they have to stop using, because I'm not God. I can't make anybody do anything. But what I am going to tell you is if you don't stop using, be aware of the consequences.
It's
and
a
you
very
very well
interesting
could
perspective.
Die.
Yeah, that's very interesting because you don't hear that shit. And that's,
well, I can't force you to stop.
Yeah.
Who the hell am I? I'm just John. That's all I am. But I'm here to tell you that if you don't, you're going to suffer some serious shit consequences that you're not going to like.
Yeah.
You're not going to like your life. You're not going to experiencing anything happy.
Right.
And if you want to be truly happy, obviously, if you're in addiction, you're not happy. You're miserably happy. You're not truly happy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
And if you want to be truly happy, you got to stop the shit that you're doing and realize that what is the end game in drugs, in doing dope or drinking? What is the end game? Death?
Right. Yeah, there's not. Yeah, I mean, you're chasing a temporary fix. And I think for me, I always hear everyone like, well, at least, back when I was going to classes and stuff all the time, but, it was like, it seemed like a pretty common topic that people kind of associate sobriety with being a little boring. And
that's not true.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that it's the people that associate that with being boring are oftentimes the people that are fresh to the sobriety game,
or they're just simply not ready to change yet.
Maybe
everybody will have a point. Hopefully, everybody will have a point. And I shouldn't say that. Hopefully, everybody has a point. Yeah. Some people may not.
Yeah,
and that's the unfortunate shit.
Right.
But that's the reality of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's for me when I sat in there too, it was like, I mean, I already wasn't drinking once I was in there because, like you said, you get appointed to the court and you got to do it. And so it's like, at that point for me, I was already like, my life had already drastically changed because by the time that I got popped and by the time that I made it into the counseling program, it had almost been a year. Mm-hmm. A year had gone by the time I had got there. And so for me, it also made it a little tougher for me to take it serious because I was like, well, I'm already off this shit. I don't understand why I need to be here. But there's a lot that goes, like, it's not just substance abuse. It's honestly a mentality. And I know
it is.
And it sounds a little corny, but I truly believe that.
Well, you got to, like you said, you have to change your behaviors.
Yeah.
That's a really big thing. If you don't change your behaviors, if you don't change what you're doing, why do you even want to stop using drugs? Because nothing's going to change.
Right.
Nothing's going to change. You're still going to be in the same shithole that you are in.
Yeah.
And nothing will change. That's the bottom line to it. If we don't experience, I talk about people getting enabled, and I say, and it's been said numerous times, if you enable an addict, you bury an addict. And that's truth.
Yeah.
That's truth. That's shit that happens. Tough love, whatever you call it, you got to get real with the person in addiction. And nobody wants to treat their kids like shit. But if you keep enabling kids, or you're not helping the problem. You're making the problem worse, because if they don't experience pain, they don't grow.
It's very true. It's very true. For me, man, that was exactly what it was. For me, I'm a tough learner,
mm-hmm.
and I can be a dummy at times. And it's like, man, I just had to go through hell, and then hell again, and then hell again, and hell again, and just nonstop until finally you really sit back and you're like, all right, dude, what are you really doing here? What are you getting out of this? Is this, like, if you were to just sit back and look at this from afar, you would clearly, it's crystal clear that this is not working.
We make life complicated.
Yeah.
Life is complicated enough without throwing dope or alcohol in the picture.
Yeah.
The one good thing for you, Brandon, I can say is you learned early. You might be a hardhead, but you were not a fucking hardhead like me. It took me 40 years to learn, and 10 years in prison.
Yeah.
And my kids getting taken by DCS, and just a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But thank God, got them back. Everything's good.
Couldn't imagine the stress.
Oh, stress out of this world,
Couldn't imagine it, man.
Stress out of this world. But, at some point, you got to say, okay, this shit is not working. It's like a bad relationship.
Yeah.
Me and my relationship with dope, it was, if a person says to me, if I say, hey, what do you think? You having any thoughts? You having any, dreams, whatever, about getting high. If they say no, I'm sorry, but I think I'm going to have to say that's kind of, I'm going to call bullshit on that.
Really?
Well, I look at it like this. You don't do something repeatedly, time and time again, because you hate it.
Yeah.
You do it because you love it.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to anyone. I love to get high.
Yeah.
I can't get high because I know how much I love to get high, and it's just like a bad relationship. Nothing comes good from at the end.
Damn, that's wild. Yeah, but it's exactly true.
Yeah.
It's just the shit that people don't talk about.
Right. Well, that's the reality of it. I'll put it out there. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you might love someone to death, but you go home and it's like, you bitch, you bastard, you slap the shit out of each other, you go to bed, you do what you do, and you wake up the next day and it's the same thing. You bitch, you bastard, I love you, I love you, I love you. It's a toxic relationship. Drugs and me, we have a toxic relationship. Love the shit, love what they do to me.
Yeah.
End game sucks. Forget
Right.
it. Enough's enough.
Yeah, but it's so true. But yeah, you never hear that. You just don't hear it put that way.
Yep.
And that, I mean, man, for me, it was the same damn thing. It was, you know, mine was just like, I would get annihilated drunk and then go do dumb shit.
Yeah.
You know, like an idiot. And for me,
break your leg, do some crazy stupid shit.
Yeah. And it's such a good thing. Like now when I look back at it, people ask me all the time, are you going to drink again? Are you ever going to drink again? Well, look, I don't know what I'm ever going to do in my entire life. So I don't want to be a liar. And I don't want to just say, nope, never again.
Never is a long time.
It's a long time. It's forever.
Yeah, it's forever. That scares people.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I don't.
One day at a time.
Yeah. But for like right now, I would be surprised if I drank again in a year. Like I tell people that, like, yeah, I'd be very surprised.
Right.
But for me, it's a little bit different because I have a lot that I'm looking forward to and I have a lot that I'm building up right now. And honestly, one, I don't have the fucking time. I just don't. I do too much shit. I don't have time. Or even on top of that, I just don't have the interest anymore. It used to be, I think, honestly, what I think stemmed a lot of it from me was insecurities.
Right.
I think as I was growing up, you know, I always tried to fit in with my friends and I was always that guy. Mm-hmm. And then as I got a little bit older, you know, my friends were partying and shit like that. And so I became the guy that could drink the most beer or do whatever and was like the craziest that I could be. And then as time went on, you? Well, so yeah, that's where I'm getting. Yeah, as time had went on, it got me in nothing but trouble over and over and over with different things, whether it was drug and alcohol related or not. I was always in and out of trouble, and I don't know, man. It was honestly for me, it was just one day. I was sitting in fucking jail, and I'm like, oh no, like this is. I mean, I'm looking at jail time, right? I'm thinking, all right, well, nonetheless, I'm going to prison. Probably, like, you know, more than likely that's what's going to happen, or I'm going to at least go to jail for a few years. And I had all these ambitions and things that I wanted to do in life, and so far I'm not even walking in the same direction as those things. And it was, I don't know what it was, but like it just, something in there just clicked, and that's what it took. And then my entire mindset had shifted, and then since then it's not even a question. It's just like I look at things differently. I'm like, okay, if what I always tell all my friends and what everything goes back to is, if I wrote all my goals and all the ambitions and all the things that are good in my life that I wanted to accomplish, if I wrote them down on a pad of paper, are my actions lining up with those things? Are they going to get me there? Right. And if the answer is no, then
change it.
Yeah, change it.
Get off of your ass and change it.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the time, my answer's either, am I doing these things? No, and then I'll audit the reason. Is it a good reason, or is it because I'm being a pussy?
Yeah, that's a fact. And you know, it goes back to I do this program called it's MRT, and it's got a lot of stuff in there, not just about substance abuse, but it's about you all the way back to birth and how we learned how to manipulate from birth, and that's a lot of things. A lot of it we learn to manipulate. We learn how to take advantage of people so we can get our way. It's our selfish desires. We are very selfish people. Yeah, we want shit our way for us, no matter how we have to get it. Yeah, and for some of us, call it fortunate, call it unfortunate. I look at it, I see it both ways. Addiction became our crutch, my crutch. Is that good or bad? You know, you can look at this two ways. You know, yes, it was bad because I became addicted and I went to prison and I did a lot of bad things, and it didn't make me a bad person. I just became addicted to substances. Yeah. And it screwed my life up for a long time. On the good side of it, you know, addiction, in my mind, addiction can be, if you want it to be, it can help you as well. Because you experience things that people who are not addicted to drugs have never experienced, which I think makes you, in some areas, you can understand more. People who don't have an addiction issue have a hard time understanding addiction. Why can't you just stop?
Yeah.
If it was that fucking simple, everybody'd stop.
Right.
It's not that simple.
Yeah.
It's just not that easy.
Right.
You know, so it's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
It's good and it's bad.
Yeah. I
mean, you can take it in, you can take your addiction and you can grow from it. Again, you have to experience the pain in order for you to grow.
Holla.
You know, if you don't experience the pain, we never know what good is anyway.
Yeah. That is.
Would I change anything in my life? Nothing. Not a thing, because it wouldn't make me who I am today.
Yeah. You know, I just said that the other day, and I feel the same way. You know, like when I look back at how hard things were, unnecessarily hard on my end. And, you know, I don't think I ever really screwed anybody over, but just other than myself, you know. Right. But when I look back at that and like think, well, things could have been a hell of a lot easier if I would have done this or if I would have done that.
Well, if
yeah. And so thinking back on that, though, it's like, damn, I don't think that would give me the mental strength and tenacity that I have now. Like when I look at shit that back then may have crushed me. I mean, I've been through stress as much as the next guy as far as that shit, and like, you know, dealing with the court and legal shit and fees and money and all that shit. Now it makes things that would seem like the end of the world not that bad.
No.
And it really toughens you up quick. Yep. And dealing with tough people that are much tougher than I am.
Yep.
I'm a little dude. I'm dealing with some badasses out there, you know. I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah, but you're doing all right. You know, you took, like you said, you took the things that you realized that the life that you was living is not getting you anywhere.
Right.
It's getting you deeper and deeper in shit.
Yeah.
Is all it's doing. And you realize that, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
So, you know, you put the shovel down, you step away from the hole, you know, you start building a ladder to get out of the hole.
Yeah. That's good.
That's what you got to do. You know, I've got this crazy philosophy, I guess, you know, with this world of addiction. When we're strung out, doing whatever, drunk, getting high, getting drunk every day. Excuse me, it's just point blank forward. You know me.
Yeah, love it.
You got your head about halfway stuck up your ass, and you hear and you see partial. You don't see and you hear clear at all.
Right.
So you got two choices at that point. You either put your head all the way up your ass and you don't see or hear nothing, or you pull it out. You see and you hear things much clearer.
That's
legit.
It's
kind of crazy, but
that's
you know
legit.
what?
Yeah,
it's true. It's the truth.
It is. It is definitely.
It's just the way it is. You know, you just have them options. There's really not much room for gray area in there, because then you're still stuck in your addiction, kind of, you know, straddling the fence, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, they say the grass is greener on the other side. Well, you don't know that shit for sure. So why don't you just try to clean the yard up that you're in?
Damn right.
You know,
yeah.
Is your glass half full or half empty? In this world, you better look at your glass as refillable, because we always screw up.
I'm just happy to have the glass. Yeah. Just happy to have it.
And it's always refillable.
Yeah.
If you screw up, you refill it.
Yeah.
You know, don't have to worry about getting a smaller glass.
Now, the one thing that I kind of have a question on, though, like for me, like physical addiction, for me, it was like, I had it pretty easy. You know, I could just step away from the shit. You look at something, okay, this isn't working, almost like a job. Like, I don't like this, I quit.
Right. But it took you 3 DUIs.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. For sure. But like, I think about the people that are physically addicted to something, where you go through chemical imbalances in your brain and it fucks with your entire system. That's got to be crazy, because for me, like I say, it was simple. It was just like, this isn't working. Oh, okay, I'm done. And there's people that don't have that luxury.
The last part of my addiction was with opiates. That was the worst withdrawal symptoms I had ever had. It's the physical addiction. It's the physical withdrawal. It's just, you're not going to die from the withdrawal, but boy, you damn sure wish you would.
That bad?
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. And how I withdrew the last time was I was arrested on June the 19th of 2008. And on June the 20th, I was a sick son of a bitch sitting in Vigo County Jail.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm done. I'm done.
Is that what it took though? Like did it just click for you?
Man, I had been to prison. That was going on my second bit.
Yeah.
I spent almost 10 years of my life in prison because of addiction.
Yeah.
And I hope that everybody gets the moment in time where you can call it a spiritual awakening. You can call it the light bulb coming on and not going out. Just like you said, you get something happens. I wish I could explain it, but something happens and the desire goes away.
Yeah.
The desire is gone.
So did that for you too?
Only you know when that happens.
Yeah.
I can't tell you when it's going to happen.
Right.
I couldn't tell you how it happened for me. Call it jailhouse religion, call it whatever you want. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a religious person. I am high in my spirituality, though.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't have my spirituality and work on my recovery first and foremost in my life, I don't have to worry about my kids. I don't have to worry about my wife. I don't have to worry about my job. I don't have to worry about shit because I'm not going to have it.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people screw up. They try to, I'm going to get sober for my wife, or I got to do this for my kids. That's great motivation.
Sounds
you got to do that shit for you.
Right.
You got to do this for you. If you can't do this for you, you're wasting your time. Go out, finish it, whatever it is that you need to be doing, and hopefully you'll make it back.
Yeah.
Some of them don't. Some of us don't.
Yeah. Boy, there's a lot of truth to that. It's interesting that you say it just kind of clicked for you too, and that that's all it was. I had a friend of mine, and well, I don't want to out him, but this guy has a great job now. He's killing it. He's very successful, and he's a great guy. Guy got tripped up in I think manufacturing methamphetamines, and anyways, he got popped. This has been probably 15 years ago now, maybe even longer than that. But went to jail, and I didn't know him back then. This guy's I believe from California is where this was, but got tripped up and all this shit, got out of jail, had a flip phone, deleted all the numbers he had on this flip phone. As soon as he got out, he's like, fuck man, I can't have access to this. And deleted all those. And then, dude, like you look at the guy now and to see him, you're like, there's no way that dude was caught up in that.
Yep.
And
social media and your so-called friends are a real bitch.
Yeah.
You have to eliminate that. You have to eliminate. I love to see when people jail and they say, man, I deleted my Facebook page. I ain't getting on that shit. I got rid of phone numbers. Man, that's what you need to do.
Is that a pretty clear sign on like they're really buckling down?
It's a good start.
Yeah.
It's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, who's to say you still don't remember that number in your head?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
then we do.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Then you better have a support system, or you better be calling somebody. I give my phone number to everybody.
Yeah.
I don't care. I expect calls. I want calls. I don't care at 12 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning. If you've got my phone number, please use it.
That's really nice, man.
Because I want to see. I would rather you call me than me having to go to your funeral in a few days.
Yeah.
Because you're having a bad fucking moment. And you just don't know what to do. And you're just about to say, cash it in to piss on all this,
Yeah.
Call me.
It's heartbreaking.
Call me.
It really is. Yeah. That's got to be is that the toughest part of the job?
Toughest part of the job is going to funerals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, people that you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
yep.
Damn. And, like I said earlier, you build a relationship with these people, and I think you do a phenomenal job at it, but it also, it creates that opening of where you're a little vulnerable because now you like these people.
Yeah.
Now you know them and like their family.
Yeah. And I guess, call it good, call it bad. I want that relationship with people, I want them to be successful. I want them to know that, there's somebody out there that does care, because some people have not had the opportunity of people that gave a shit for them.
Damn, that's true.
And I give a shit for people.
Yeah.
I used to be one of the biggest destroyers of life that you would not like me a few years ago, believe me. You would not have liked me. And now I am not a destroyer. I don't want to be destructive anymore. I want to be constructive.
Yeah. And I think you do a phenomenal job at it. I really do.
Well, it's not about me. It's about you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's great, but no, I mean, take credit where it's due. You do a great job, and it's it's really good to see, it's good to see other people change and things,
It's
really
great to see other people change. It's great to see people. The stigma is falling off slowly. It used to be a few years ago, if you said that you've been arrested for methamphetamine, it's like, oh shit,
get away from
the cross. This
get away
guy's
from
a
this
demon,
fucking guy. Yeah.
And no, it's not that. It's that we screwed up our life, and we did some dope, and we crossed that fine line from recreation to where it became an addiction, an illness, a sickness.
Yeah.
And we're not bad people. We just made bad choices.
Yeah.
Everybody makes bad decisions. That's why I can't say it enough. Our glass is refillable.
Yeah.
Not saying go out and empty the son of a bitch all the time either.
Right.
Because you might run out of chances.
Yeah.
But your glass is refillable. That's what you have to remember.
That's really good. And if there's anyone that's watching this that wants to comment, maybe if you have some questions for John or anything like that, feel free. I haven't even been looking at these, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Give us a call. I'll answer anything you want to answer. Anything that I can answer, I'll answer for you. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Let's sit here and go through these a little bit here.
I see Levi's on there again.
Dude, piss on Levi.
Levi's a good guy.
I love him, man.
Levi's a good dude. Yeah. He's a little crazy, but he's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a man crush on you, Levi. Forget it, bud. You're 8 up, dude.
I love it, man. I love it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, he's just a little crazy, and he's came a long way too. I'm not trying to put anybody out there on Front Street, but Levi's came a hell of a long way too.
It's really good to hear because he's got a heart of gold.
I'm glad to see him doing what he's doing. He's doing a good job with his life, and that's the way it is.
Yeah. If you guys can share this video, it really helps out, and you can like it as well. Let's see here. I want to check. Okay, I think it's good still. But yeah, so even what would you consider to be the best part of the job? Just seeing other people succeed, or
success?
Yeah.
Yep. Just seeing people I want to see people to experience true happiness.
Yeah.
That's
rare.
It's real rare. It's real rare. Because like I said, life has a lot of problems, but we complicate it by throwing drugs and alcohol in there, and then it's tough to get that piece of the pie gone, and once we get that piece of that pie gone, then we can start experiencing what happiness really is again. And for me, happiness is seeing people be successful, seeing people be reunited with their kids.
Yeah.
My kids are my world. My kids and my grandkids. I've got adult kids and I've got not adult kids, and I've got grandkids, and that's my wife and my kids and my grandkids. That's my shit right there. And my job. My job isn't really a job. I got to give a shitload of credit to my boss. He gave me an opportunity of a lifetime that I never thought that I would get once I got out of my addiction and got into recovery. Hear a lot of people say this, I want to become a substance abuse counselor. I want to become a substance abuse counselor. Well, that's all good. That's cool. And I hope you're real. I hope they're real when they say that,
Yeah.
I was real, and I went to Ivy Tech, and my boss was my instructor, and he had us write this a Who Am I paper. And I hand wrote a 27-page front and back Who Am I paper, kind of like an autobiography of myself.
Damn.
He read it and he said, well, if I ever open up a practice again, he said, I'm going to hire you. I thought, yeah, okay. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, sure enough, he opened up Choices Counseling in Petersburg 8 years ago. And he called me and he said, hey, I told you I'd hire you. You want to come to work? And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And I did my internships with him, Robbie Chrisman. And when I got there, we was on like client number 32, right around there. And now we're up to 1,530 people that we have seen over the years.
Nice.
And I'm not saying that our program is better or worse, but we have a pretty damn good success rate.
I bet you do. And everyone there is very friendly and open, and it's not like you would think. It's not judgmental.
Right.
I think that's got to be
Who am I
probably
to judge someone?
Yeah, it's got to be the toughest thing about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
we hear all kinds of shit, but you know what? We're open-minded to everything. That's just the way it has to be.
Yeah.
We can't be closed-minded and judgmental and racist or any shit like that, because anybody and everybody. Addiction happens to everyone.
Yeah, and it doesn't do anybody any good either.
No.
And I mean, yeah, you guys have a real good thing going there, and I'm very appreciative to have you here too.
That's cool. I'm glad to be here. I want to be able to spread the word. If you're struggling, get a hold of us. If you need some place, if you want to go to sober living, get a hold of us. We have tons of resources. There's some really good places down in Terre Haute. I want to give props up to the Truman House, and I want to give props up to Next Step and the Odyssey House and Club Soda. There's places down there. There's places in Lafayette. There's places in Lebanon. There's places in Crawfordsville. Some say they're good, some say they're bad. Well, it's just like anything else in the world. If you want the good, you'll find the good. If you want the bad, you'll find the bad.
Yeah, and
that's just the way it is.
That's across the board.
Yeah, that's
one thing that I've really tried to learn over these last few years is really try to find the good, and being optimistic is okay, but it can quickly lead into delusion, I think. And I suffered from that.
Gotta keep your guard up.
On a personal level. It's okay to be like, this isn't that bad. It could be worse. It could be worse. Well, eventually you got to look at something and be like, well, it's getting pretty fucking bad, dummy.
Yeah.
And it takes, for me, it took that.
Well, and not to interrupt you, but when it got bad, you was probably pretty comfortable with yourself too.
Yeah.
And that comfort zone will fuck you every time.
Every time.
So it's a famous line. You got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
If you're uncomfortable, in my opinion, you tear the wall down, but you keep your guard up. You always think before you act that way.
Yeah.
I know for me, if I get in a comfort zone, I know where my comfort zone led me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can figure out something to do.
Yeah.
And it's bound to fuck up.
Yeah. Man, for me, I tell people all the time that it's like complacency is just the root of all evil, man. It's as soon as you get complacent, you don't want to move, and then everything kind of, not even addiction related, but just like in general, everything gets all kind of cush and everything's okay. And then you don't like strive to do more. You're just kind of coasting. And I ain't trying to do any of that shit,
Yep.
This guy says Truman House too. I'm not sure what the Truman House is.
Truman House is a men's recovery place down in Terre Haute, and a lot of people that I know have went there and have been very successful there. It's a hell of a good place. Very strict, very structured, very good program.
They bring folks in like a sober living house, and
they have houses down there. They have 3 houses down there, and they got a bunch of really damn good guys down there, and they're very structured, very into their recovery.
Yeah.
A lot of them has done the MRT program that I do. They're just into recovery. They're into recovery. They got it.
Right.
They found a place where they're comfortable. Comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
They've learned, and they've seen what sobriety can do. They've seen the sober life. Like you said, sobriety and recovery. A lot of people think this is boring as hell, and it's just a bunch of shit and everything. And it's not. You can remember. You can have good memories.
It's wild how, and I don't know. I started taking Alpha Brain probably 6 months ago.
What the hell is Alpha Brain?
So it's a mental supplement basically. It's kind of like just like a health supplement, but it targets your brain, and it targets memory and focus. Works extremely well.
Really?
Yeah. And it's odd because it does a lot of things too. It's all natural. There's no drugs or anything like that in there. There's nothing that's manufactured. But it's odd because it helps you with, weirdly enough, with your vocabulary. You start picking up, and your vocabulary will increasingly. It's nuts. I don't know. You have to read into it. But when I first started it, I didn't know that it did that.
Right.
And I was talking to somebody and I said egregious. I was like, that's like the most egregious thing, which obviously is not egregious means
You're
not
getting
good.
smart and shit, ain't
No,
you?
I'm not getting smart at all. No, no, I'm not. But I said that and I was like, where in the fuck? How have I heard egregious? Where did I hear that at? And I didn't even remember. But it's odd how it works. But when you take that from being flipped, where, you know, drinking every night, eventually your memory is damn near shot.
Right.
You know, you do shit that you don't remember or whatever. And going from that to
you get mush brain.
Yeah, you do. You do. And it's going from that to being able to, like, now you're on the positive where, like, not only can you remember things, but now you're gaining more. You know, you're getting more vocabulary, you're getting more, you know, memories, and everything is on the plus side. It's very interesting to see that even in my own life. And it's obviously to someone that's never been on the other end of the side or other end of the stick, but for me it's like, whoa, this is a little different. Okay. Okay.
Well, you know, it's not, you know, your vocabulary is, like you said, your vocabulary is picking up. It's not like you're a dumb person anyway. You are a computer, in my opinion. Sorry, bud, you're a computer geek.
Holla.
Yeah, you are a computer geek.
Except I can't get this stupid ass podcast figured out.
But, you know, everybody has a unique quality about ourselves, you know, and your unique quality is computers and you know, technology.
Yeah.
Mine, I guess, is I want to be helpful.
Yeah, compassion is huge.
I want to be helpful, and sometimes does my big heart sometimes get in the way. Yeah, but you know what? I guess I don't want it to change either. You know, because
right.
I want to be able to help people, and if you can't be cold-hearted and not be able to help people.
How often do you kind of have to do the which I guess your answer might be a little different, but where you have to step back. For me, you know, you see somebody fuck up over and over and over, and I was one of them. So it's not that I'm looking down, but you see somebody, they're just not getting it. Eventually, for me, I gotta pull the plug, be like, look, I love you, but you got to do this shit on your own, and that's got to be the hardest thing for you. Because, well, like, you know, what do you do?
Well, unfortunately, I don't ever give up hope for no one. But sometimes what happens is I've done everything that I know to do. The system has done everything they know what to do. And there's only an option left, and that's usually prison. Okay. Yeah. And I hate to say that, but I don't want to see anybody go to prison. But sometimes prison saves your life.
Does it work? Yeah, I was going to say, does it work?
Oh, hell yeah, it does.
Yeah.
If you want it to, just like anything else, if you want it to.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's, you know, that's unfortunate. I don't want to see people. I didn't want to go to prison.
Yeah.
But you know what? Prison saved my dumb ass.
Yeah,
it took me 2 times. And the second time was the one that was for real. It was the short one, but it was the one that was for real. It was the one that meant the most.
Yeah, no shit.
And I got out, and I was determined that I was not going back to what I did before. It's
a thing that and I found this to help me in life in general, but it's what you allow. Yeah. So if you just strictly don't allow something, right? That's, for me, that's where it works. Like when I have a job that I need to get done, and I need to get it done, I don't allow myself to go do other shit because I need to get this done.
Right.
Or if it's, you know, something that I'm working on or whatever, even like a video, and like I have to have it perfect. Well, I don't allow myself to shoot a shitty shot and then not get what I need, you know? And I feel like it's kind of across the board with, you know, if you're going to allow that in your life, then you're throwing a huge risk.
Well, you're opening the door for one friend the others want to come into.
Yeah.
Meaning drugs.
Right.
You know, you open the door for one, they all want to come.
Yeah.
You know, and in the same way.
It seems to be big too with like depression and anxiety. They run side by side, it seems like.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do. Depression and anxiety, they run side by side, and you open that up. You know, I'm not one to push medication on anybody, but some people have to have medication for depression and anxiety. But my thought is, hopefully, it's not a benzo or some crazy ass shit. If it is, it is. But it's got to be maintained.
Yeah.
It's got to be
CBD oil works great. I won't get into the whole debate there because, you know, illegal is still illegal, but CBD is legal.
It is what it is,
and it works very well. I've used it before, and it's phenomenal. I don't see any negatives with CBD products.
No, I don't. I'll just sit here and just tell you, just be straight up, because I'm always straight up. I don't give a fuck if you like it or not. I'm a big advocate for medical marijuana.
Yep.
My personal opinion is recreational marijuana is a fucking joke.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's a joke.
Yeah.
I think that just gives. I just think it's a joke. I've been to Colorado, and I've seen people your age. We all know that there's a homeless issue, you know.
Yeah.
But usually it's our veterans or people with mental health conditions, and they don't have any place to go, so they're homeless. They're on the streets.
Yep.
I went to Denver, and there's young people, I would say anywhere between the ages of 18 to 30, nice looking kids with their big ass pit bull dog. I'm hungry, and they're all dirty. And get a fucking job.
Yeah.
Quit smoking pot and get a job.
Yeah.
You know, because contrary to popular belief, you still have to pass a drug screen to get a job.
Yep.
If you get hurt on the job, you lose your job,
mm-hmm.
and you're going to be limited to some of the jobs that is available to you because you simply want to smoke pot. Really?
Yeah.
Come on now.
I think that I think it should be legal, and I only say that because I feel like, as you know, as far as like the American population, I think people should be able to do what they want to do as long as they're not inflicting pain or damaging other people's shit.
Okay, but it's been proven too that since pot's been legal out in Colorado, and I'm not trying to get into a debate with anybody, there's been more fatal car accidents from people being high from smoking pot because it's so damn strong.
Well,
than DUI deaths out there here lately.
Yeah.
And what the hell, you know?
Yeah, and that's true.
And that's the abuse thing coming in again.
It is.
You know, and I believe now that pot is addictive because of how strong it is.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't smoke, but I have looked into that quite a bit. And like out there, I mean, you're looking at, there's a lot of different variables too, whether it's population. You know, the population goes up, so yeah, you're going to have more car accidents. It's
why
crazy.
The population go up? Because pot's legal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so, but you do have that. You have to take account that there's more people, so there's going to be more wrecks.
Yep.
And then another thing that blew me away, it's a crazy statistic, and it's in the 90s. You know that almost 90% of the people that get into a car wreck that are high on marijuana are also under the influence of alcohol.
It's crazy.
I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought maybe like one or the other, or
what's going to happen?
Maybe 50%, maybe.
What's going to happen is it will. There's not a doubt in my mind that sooner or later the state of Indiana will have it legalized, just like every other state is going.
Yeah. And
they're going to make a shit ton of money off of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it all boils down to, is money.
Right.
You know, will it ever be regulated or legalized with the federal government? Not until they can come up with a machine to detect how soon or how recent a person has smoked pot,
or even edibles. Edibles are crazy. I've never done it, but I've done a lot of research on that too. And like when you eat or you ingest marijuana, or no matter how you do it, but if you eat it, it's processed through the liver, and then it creates what's called 11-hydroxymetabolite. And
look at you go, man. That's a fancy shit for your brain, huh?
5 times more psychoactive than smoking it. Yeah. So it will. Yeah, eating is a lot different than smoking it.
Yeah. Well, for me, it don't really matter if they legalize it for recreational use or not. I can't smoke it.
Right.
That's just the bottom line, because that'll make me want to go places that I don't need to go.
Yeah, and I don't like. I'm not an advocate for everybody. I think everyone needs to find their own thing and do that. You know, just like I don't think it's a good idea for me to go out drinking beers every night with my buddies. Right. It's just not a good idea. Some people can do it. Yep. It's just not good for me. And but yeah, I mean, I didn't want to get off on that because honestly, I don't think it's not the most important thing right now. Anyways, if they legalize it, they legalize it. I don't really. It's not at the top of my priority list. I got other shit to worry about. But.
Yeah, I guess job security.
Holla, yeah.
Job security, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the way I guess that's the only way I can look at it, you know, because once it gets legalized, there's, you know, the rules and the laws and all this shit's going to change, and people are going to be getting OVWIs just like they get DUIs, and people are still going to be coming to counseling, and once you're in the system and once you're into counseling, 0% tolerance.
Yeah.
You know,
very tough to get out of there, like without any issues.
Yeah.
Hear it all the time. People on probation. Well, they're waiting for me to fuck up. Well, then don't.
Yeah, it's real simple. Quit fucking up.
Yeah. For me, I mean,
and I know that's easier said than done. You know,
sure.
That sounded kind of hypocritical. It's easier said than done because you struggle with this deal of addiction. But you know, there is a big movement going on right now, and recovery is being
it's
being
less
sought after.
It's less demonizing now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't have people that look down on it like they used to.
Right.
You know, you used to, just like you said.
Addict.
Yeah. And there's like that stigma of like, oh, ew, you know, and now you don't. It's not. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's like that. And I feel like a lot of people. One of the things that, even as I had kind of put out the little teaser for this podcast, a lot of people are like, this is great that there's going to be a little bit of information on it. You know, and a lot of people look for that information where before they wouldn't even want to bring it up.
Well, if you want some information, here's some information for you. If you're struggling, if you know somebody who's struggling, call us. Choices Counseling in Petersburg, Choices Consulting in Terre Haute. We have a great staff of people. A lot of them are in recovery themselves, and we are here to help. We want to try to get people well. We ain't trying to treat a drug problem. We're trying to treat a people problem because we all have issues.
Yeah.
If you want some help, reach out. We got resources. We know where we can have you to go to sober living. All we want to do is try to help you help yourself.
And I think you guys do a phenomenal job. I definitely think that. And it's really my favorite thing, though, is just how down to earth that, you know, you and everyone that's there, they are, you know.
Right.
And there's no, like I said before, the problem that I feel like is, at least on my outlook, because I don't like the bullshit, and I don't want to go somewhere where they have these cheesy sayings and shit all over the wall, and it's all frilly. I don't give a shit about that. Just lay it out there. And I'm not like everybody. Some people need that, and I'm aware of that. But for me, I don't need that shit. Just tell me what it is that's going on, and cut dry to the point, as raw as it gets. That's what I want to hear.
I'm not going to pat you on the back and say everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, don't need to hear that shit. It's not. Yeah,
it's not. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to give you I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
A lot of people don't do that. And I always wonder, is it just they're afraid to hurt feelings? I mean, I don't want to.
I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, I'll only speak for myself.
Sure.
I'm not going to candy coat shit.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the way it is. You may like it, you may not. Hopefully in the end, you'll realize that what I told you was not bullshit, and you listened, and you learned. I'm not going to give you some advice. I'm going to give you some suggestions, and we're going to help you get into some programs. You take the tools with you. It's entirely up to you if you want them to work or not.
It's a very good point. Well, we've been on here for, I believe, about an hour now. I don't want to hold you up since we had to. This is take 2.
That's all right, bud. Mr. Technical Difficulty Bullshit, Brandon.
Dude, I'll tell you what. You want to get a little nerdy here? My laptop had a standard hard drive in it, and it was running real slow. And I switched over to a solid state drive, which is super fast, lightning fast. Well, I found out what the problem was. Is it took all the traffic. These mics, they take a ton of data, as well as that camera. It's an HD camera. And now you're trying to take that, and it goes even faster from the drive, and then putting it over a wireless connection, dude. That's what done it. There was no way. And after I ran that cable, I think we're on the good now.
I don't know what the fuck you just said.
I think we're on the good.
Dude, you took too much data, huh? Good.
I think you should have heard me in here cussing and raising hell. John sitting here laughing at me. I'm like, this stupid piece of shit. Yeah, and I think everything is set. But I say that all the time. I liked how even in the status I put, updated should be the last tech problem we got. Yeah. Sure as shit. Didn't even make it through a whole episode and everything. Went all the hell on me.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's a great job, Brandon.
Yeah,
great job.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Good setup you got here. Overall, man, I'm happy now, and I'm really glad that you're here.
Well, I'm going to leave some cards with Brandon about the business that I work at.
Yeah.
Choices Counseling and Choices Consulting. If anybody needs any help, please reach out. I'm always here to help. I will guide you in directions where we can get you some help. If that's what you truly want, we can get you some help, man. Addiction is not the way to go. Dope is not the way to go. It's not cool. Believe it or not, it's not cool. Man, I'm just here to help you to be able to have a successful life.
Yeah.
Life is good. Every day's a good day. Some days just better than others. I heard that in prison for about, I was in a CLIP program, and I heard this guy say that you had to get up and say something positive every day. And this guy said this every day. And I heard that shit every day for about 9 months. And I thought, man, if this guy says every day's a good day, some days just better than others, about one more fucking time, I'm going to hit him in the mouth. But you know what? That's what I live by today.
Yeah.
Every day is a good day. Some days just better than others.
Yeah.
We're not promised tomorrow. Today might not be as good as yesterday. It might be better. Who knows?
Right.
But you know what? You don't ever have a bad day.
Yeah.
Don't ever have a bad day. Don't ever quit. If you fail, the only reason you fail is because you quit. Learn from what you didn't get right the first time, and move forward. That's what you do.
Damn good.
That's what you do. Don't ever quit, because then you fail, and don't let failure be an option. We can't let failure be an option in what we're doing with addiction. Don't let failure be an option, because you might not be here tomorrow.
Holla. I like it. All right. Well, I'll wrap this thing up. I'd like to thank the sponsors that I've got this month. Warren County Creations. They make cool things like that gator head over there. Check that thing out. You see that?
Yeah.
They make badass stuff like that. Bobcat of Lafayette. Thank you guys. As always, man, you guys are great to work with. I've got a little Facebook post that's going to be coming up tonight, actually, for them. And I'm going to buy some people some Yetis, I think. They sell Yetis there now. And they got good deals on those. So I'm gonna buy a couple and ship them out to random folks. Pizza King of Attica. Everyone knows me. That knows I love eating Pizza King. So I was like,
don't eat the hot sauce, bud.
Don't eat that hot sauce, son. The BP in Williamsport and Cinesol's Garage. I drive past every gas station. I drive clear out of my way to go to the BP in Williamsport. Love that place. And Cinesol's Garage, they do good work. I've got some great friends that work there, and they are great people to work with. If you're watching this, go ahead and share it. It is greatly appreciated. It really helps out a lot. All my links now are in the description of this video. So whether it's my YouTube channel or Spotify links or whatever, it's all on there. My website. I have a publicist now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so
wow.
he's stepping his shit up. You'll notice now, if you like my public figure page, I'm posting all the time on there. I'm posting all the time. That guy's on it, man.
Brandon Briles doing big things.
Holla. Thank you, Robert, man. Robert's a huge asset right now, and he's taking a lot of stress off of me. And I'm leaving for Vegas tomorrow. And anyone that's asking about the YouTube videos that I used to do, well, I've just been pretty busy. I'm going to try to finish one up tonight. And then as I'm out in Vegas over the next few days, I'm going to be out there filming nonstop. You got anything else before we wrap it up?
That's it, bud.
John, Choice Counseling, thank you so much, man. It's always a pleasure. I love you, and I'm gonna smack you on the ass probably.
No, you're not. You ain't touching my ass, dude. We ain't going there.
All right, man. This podcast will be available on all listening platforms in a few hours, and I'll see y'all real soon.